Well, greetings, one and all. Are you going to come up on camera, Mark? You should have had an invite link that I sent you. And I'll post it here. Okie dokie.
There he is. Hey, you got to put in my name. What's going on?
Fixing my robot, it fell off the shelf. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. You were just being quiet.
Well, I'm kind of moving screens around for optimal view and yada yada.
So how many monitors are you running?
Two.
Two.
Yep, I always run two.
Yeah.
I edit on one screen and I watch the clips on the other screen. And yet I still manage to somehow double the clips when I edit. It's like,
Well, I mostly do most of my stuff on the phone.
Yeah. So. I don't have enough data, and I've never done it on the phone. So.
Yeah, I saw somebody. Mike's here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? About cleaning off their storage on your iPhone. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because all your,
I've never done it. I don't know how to. I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do.
Well, your phone saves all your attachments and like text, all those things, and any attachments that you sent in your email, and you can go in and just get rid of those.
Oh.
and that'll free up, especially if you have a lot of photos or something. So I'll text Sabrina back and forth and end up, sending emojis and stuff like that. But that all eats up her memory
Yeah.
because, yeah, especially with her. So, Mike, what's going on, man? You got any good reviews coming up? Mark, do you know Mike Kreischer?
I do know Mike. I watch the channel.
Okay.
Hey, Mike.
I think Mike had a video, because this is one misconception Americans have about Japanese cooking is
Yeah.
the term hibachi.
Okay.
Anyway, a lot of people go to these restaurants which aren't Japanese owned, where they cook at the table.
Yeah, I've been to those.
Okay, so people call those hibachis. Those are not hibachis. That's teppan. That's Teppan.
Oh.
A hibachi is a charcoal grill.
Yeah, actually, I have one of those. My upstairs neighbor gave it to me, but I never used it.
Yeah.
It's still sitting outside.
If you use one, you have to get the Japanese charcoal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a unique charcoal. It's like a cylinder piece of wood.
Oh, good to know, because I had Kingsford.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're doing like that hibachi, it fits perfect. Because they're longer. Like I would describe it as pieces of branch.
Oh.
And they last a long time. So when you go to a real Japanese restaurant will have a hibachi, but they'll usually have it in a lot of bars in Japan. So you sit at the bar and there's a hibachi going right on the counter. And if you order like yakitori or stuff like that, just bar food, they cook it right there in front of you.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, that's hibachi cooking. Mike's sitting on a Danish ration. All right, he's not actually sitting on a pastry.
I've tasted a few Canadian IMPs, but I really haven't gone much further out just because they're so damn hard to get.
Yeah, well, Mike sent me one.
Nice.
So that was the last. I think that was the last. Well, I just did a review on one he sent me on the. Hey, Hike with Mike, welcome. He sent me a Japanese emergency ration, so I just did that.
Was that today's video?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, I
today.
watched that. It looked really good.
I can't keep track of the videos because I schedule them ahead of time. But
I literally just scheduled this weekend. I actually just scheduled 2 videos. I'm gonna be loading up 2 tomorrow. One at midnight tonight and one at noon because I tried to do one big video, but it shut my computer down, so I had to shorten them.
mm-hmm.
Something to do with the motherboard. I need a new PC.
Yeah. Well, I use Google Translate on that Japanese ration.
Yeah.
Because I know I can speak some Japanese, understand it, but I can't read the kanji. So it said ham. So I assumed it was, it translated to yakitori and ham, but I didn't read it right. It was made by the Nissan Ham Company, because I know yakitori is usually chicken thigh cooked on a hibachi on a skewer, and they usually use like a teriyaki sauce. So as I got into it, I realized, that after I tasted it, I said, yeah, that's chicken. That's not ham.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a good entree.
Yeah, it looked really good.
But those are really, really hard to get, the Japanese stuff.
Yeah.
I did some rations a couple of years ago. I don't even know if the video's still up, but it was their canned. So one was like a can of fish and the other was like vegetables.
That's cool.
I have a Singapore one coming in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I like the Canadian rations. I think they do a good job. The
Yeah,
German,
I thought they were a little bit better than the MREs, American MREs. Like the food seemed tastier.
mhm.
So
I don't know. They all have their good, good and bads.
well, when I was coming back to the U.S., they grilled me at the border. They said at the ferry dock. They said, "Do you have any eggs? Do you have any chicken? Do you have any meat? Do you have any of this?" I said, "No." Why? And I guess they had some kind of what was it? He said some kind of food poisoning going around with those items, so you couldn't bring them in the U.S. at all.
Hmm.
It's like
You
one
could,
guy was telling me he had eggs and they made him throw them out.
yeah. You
I guess
said
they bought eggs while they were there.
you just said no. We don't have it, but we have a lot of Canadian smoke.
Yeah, thanks. Ugh.
They have like 900 active fires going.
9 p.m.
Well, Canada's so big, you know, and
Yeah,
a lot of it's remote. So just
has
being able
nowhere to
to get
go.
in there to
Yeah,
fight it. Anyway, I kind of had got this idea for camp gear discussion after
yeah, I like the idea.
watching your video with the air mattress.
Oh
So
yeah,
that got me thinking about what different people choose and why.
I'm pretty much more comfort than weight.
Yeah. Well, you kind of evolve with gear when you're camping. You know,
Oh yeah,
I backpacked for years, so weight was the big consideration. And
yeah, totally.
so
If
I,
you're backpacking, I get it because
yeah, I
every
just
ounce counts.
everything was lightweight, and so I had a down bag, I had a closed cell phone pad, and then pretty much I continued that till my 50s, all the way up to my 60s.
Wow.
Motorcycle camping. I quit backpacking because I could go more places on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so the backpacking gear translated kind of well. But I tried the air mattresses, um,
You have a weight
self-inflating.
limit on the motorcycle, don't you?
Huh?
You have a weight limit on the motorcycle, don't you?
Yeah, but with that sidecar, which is a two-wheel
Yeah.
drive. Um, well, I mean, even on my two-wheel motorcycles, they're rated for a 170-pound passenger.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, what about gear though?
well, I have big bags, and then my rear seat becomes a cargo
Yeah.
space. So I have a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah. Okay.
waterproof bag, and then I strap, a little folding tripod chair, and
Those are the worst for long time sitting.
yeah,
Been there, done that.
I end up standing quite a bit.
Yeah, I
I'll
bet.
stand.
I was on I went backpacking with a couple of guys several years ago,
Hey,
and
Tennessee.
I brought that little stool, and my back was just killing me the whole time. I'd get up and stretch and sit back down, and it just started to hurt immediately. It's like I packed all wrong for that trip. It was awful. I had no bug spray at all. So I had to keep using theirs. There were so many mosquitoes. I actually had scars when I got home.
Yeah, I
So it was
remember
a learning lesson.
I go hunting and fishing up. We go fishing near Ketchikan, but I used to go hunting up there, and we were getting ready to go on a hunt. So we were watching my friend's nephew play softball, and it's like 11
Okay.
o'clock at night in the summertime, and it's just like noon, because of the sun.
Yeah.
And I was watching this runner from first base. the ball got hit and he ran to second base, but you could see this cloud behind him. It was just mosquitoes,
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
everybody was just, they had head nets and arm nets and things.
Jeez.
Well, I know from watching your videos, you don't like bugs.
I don't. I just wish they'd stay out of this area. The face, like, grab a bite off my arm. I don't care. But why you got to buzz around the ears and my face? Like, just get out of there.
Yeah, I don't think you have. I think Tennessee bushcrafter could probably relate. We have no-see-ums. Do you have those up there?
We
The
have
little
what?
like no-see-ums. They're like little gnats, real tiny,
Probably we do.
and they'll fly in big clouds, but they'll want to fly up your nose and into your eyes because of the moisture.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I had some of those on Vancouver Island. They'd fly like in with big little clumps, so I'd have to keep walking through going.
Yeah. So why do you like? How come you don't use a cot, like a folding cot?
I do have a folding cot. In fact, I'm going to use it on my next outing.
Mm-hmm.
So I got
Mike. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
He's got acidic blood.
I'm going to be using that cot on the next trip. So, because my buddy's birthday is coming up, so we're going to go camping again. So for his, but I didn't go anywhere this weekend because of my shoulder. So, but then I ended up getting called into work today, so I got to work tomorrow too, 12-hour shift. So,
so Mike says all he has to worry about are ticks. What we have here are I'm not sure what state Mike is in, but
he's in Florida.
Florida.
Yep.
Well, we have chiggers here, and they're the worst.
Yeah.
Because you get bit by them, and I mean that's a bite that keeps giving for a couple weeks. So regular repellent just doesn't work on them. They're like a mite. You could barely see them. Anyway, they'll go in and bite, and yeah. Anyway, they just itch. These bites itch for weeks, and you'll scratch them and get scars. So I looked into repellent. So I found chigger repellent at the feed store, but it was $15 for 3 ounces. So I looked on the back of it, and it said active ingredient, mineral oil, and 15% sulfur.
Oh, interesting.
Now, sulfur is antibiotic.
Yeah. Didn't you do a video like mixing your own?
Yeah. So, but that works because they don't like to smell. That works on other bugs too. Ticks.
Oh, nice.
It'll work on ticks. And sulfur is good for your skin. They make sulfur soap. One of the treatments for our home remedies for lice, it's like using sulfur soap.
Okay.
But if you ever watched a World War II movie where soldiers carried a pouch, powdered sulfur in a pouch, and they would pour it in open wounds. That was their first aid, and it helped the blood clot a little bit. So it's safe, and it works. So I could make 3 ounces for about $1, a 15th of what you would pay. But something you ought to try. I mean, especially if you get a lot of mosquitoes. And what I do is I just mix it. It's like a paste. I have a little mason jar, and I mix it up with a basting brush.
Okay.
And I just brush it on my skin. The mineral oil is good for your skin. And it doesn't wash off like regular repellent.
I wonder if you could almost get one of those little glue bottles with the little brush on the end and just mix it up in there, and just put the lid on.
I just do it that way when I go, because I cut brush and stuff.
Oh yeah. Guess I'm neglecting the fire ants. Oof. Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah. Well, we have tons of fire ants, but I'd rather get bit by a fire ant or stung. They actually sting you, because that's, it'll hurt for right away, but then after a few days, it's gone. You just can't scratch them.
Damn
But
bugs. Why do they have
yeah,
to be such assholes?
yeah. Well, whoever named them did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Hammocks.
Yeah.
So is that your preference?
I find them to be the most comfortable.
Yeah. I never got hurt by a tent.
Well,
I,
actually, in my video, tomorrow's video at noon, I explain what happened. So,
okay. All right. I won't spoil it for anybody that's gonna watch it.
what I do with them? I had the strap somewhere around here.
Yeah. Bushcraft or the Promethrin is pretty good stuff. It's what the military uses. You can actually, I think I have a kit where you treat your equipment with the Promethrin. Um, Promethrin is also used to treat lice and scabies.
Oh,
You have to have 5% Promethrin. Anyway, that is the active ingredient in ant spray.
oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, my neighbor used to be well, he's a tree guy, but he has a hazardous liquids because he uses chemicals. So every year he has to go get his license update. But he says for scorpions, just get the unscented ant spray, and you just spray all the cracks and floorboards in your house. He goes, you could spray it on your clothes because it's not toxic to humans or dogs, but it is with cats.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I guess I'll give a little spoiler. So this was a hammock strap.
Oh, it broke.
It broke. Yeah, it actually snapped on me. That's why I fell and hit the ground.
How old is it?
Well, it wasn't age. It was because of how I set it up. I set it up wrong. Because when you set them up, you're supposed to, and I even commented in the video, like when you set it up, it's supposed to be square and straight, but I had it at a 45 and it put pressure on the edge and just ripped through. So it's totally my fault. So I wasn't paying attention to the little things. And I mean, I can actually lift my arm more today than I could have like 3 days ago. So I decided just to take it easy this weekend and let the arm heal. I think I just pulled a tendon because it doesn't feel broken because I can move everything. And it doesn't send me screaming when I touch it. So.
All right, I just posted a
link, yeah.
Link. So if anybody wants to come up, come join us. Don't cost nothing. Saves you typing.
Yeah. I just bought a buddy gave the knocking everything over. I gotta use this on my next outing. My buddy gave me this axe. Little strayed hatchet. So next time I go out, I'm gonna take this with me.
What's is that just kind of a Chinese one or
it's a Schrade.
Okay, Schrade. Yeah, that's good.
SC Axe 10. But
yeah, they've been around a long time.
Yeah, I got one of their knives, but I never really use it because the handle is really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So It's a nice little knife. It's not comfortable to use.
I don't get a good night's sleep in a hammock. And it's fine when the weather's fair because you get that cold air underneath. But
Well,
I have a little net. You ever see those hammocks? They just roll up into a ball. They're made out of net, like a fish
yeah.
net.
I've seen
I
those.
do take one of those to just kind of
Most trades are made in China. Yeah, I've heard that. Truth be told, when I camp now, I really sleep anyway. I When I was out Friday night, I didn't get a wink of sleep. I just laid awake all night. But it was the same thing with the tent too. When I was on Vancouver Island, I do have an underquilt. I've got been using this one right here. This is she did a video on this. What was the company? I forget what the company was. I had its name on here.
well, even with an underquilt, there's going to be a certain temperature, especially when it gets below.
Eat Outdoors. Well, the first time I used it, the temperatures were like a low 30s, and my back was cold, so I didn't get any sleep. And then I got but so this is a spring and summer underquilt, which it works great. I mean, keeps my back warm in the spring and summer and early fall. So it's been working really well.
Well, I have a Kelty down bag, and it's only rated for 40 degrees.
Yeah, well, on my last trip, I was just using this Snug Pack Jungle Blanket XL, so kept me plenty warm, top and bottom.
But
when it gets cold, I use the 15-degree Marmot bag, which does a fine job. I unzip it down 3/4. I tuck my feet in so my feet are nice and dusty, and I just pull it up like a quilt. Works great. Never had a problem with the zippers either. So.
Well, for motorcycle camping, I carry that Kelty, and I've used that down to 6 degrees.
Wow.
That was a couple years ago in Chaco Canyon, but because even though I have that sidecar, the motorcycle, I want to keep everything compact so I can take more stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I use that cot now with a closed cell foam pad. It's just an Army surplus closed cell foam.
Yeah.
I use that as padding on the cot, and then I went to Walmart, and for it's $10 a sleeping bag liner.
I actually have one of those.
So I like to sleep in my underwear, and that keeps my bag clean, and my bare skin isn't kind of touching the the fabric. So that kind of increases the rating by a couple degrees. And then if it gets really cold, I have a large emergency blanket, which I can drape over the top of me, and it's big enough to roll under me, kind of like they used to make bed rolls out of blankets. You would roll yourself kind of into it, so you were insulated on both sides. But the only bad thing about that is if I pull it over my head, I'll get condensation. Then it gets on my down bag.
Yeah. And my underquilt from 2 throws I got from Sam's. Pretty much the same as the Costco throws people were using. Oh yeah, I remember those. I actually have one of those. I just never use it. It's like it was too short. I have a Kelty. I have like 2 Kelty backpacks. I've got a Kelty Gunnison 2.1. But I heard the Kelty was sold to another company. Like the brand was sold, so I guess their customer service isn't what it used to be, because I guess Mike was having trouble with them.
Mike's
really shame, because I really like their products.
Yeah.
because I've got a 2-person tent, which I did a lot of research before I bought that tent, because before that I had a like Expedition Hardware or something like that from like Big Five. It was like $21 when I bought it. Piece of shit. Hated that tent.
Well,
Condensation time. I didn't fit in it. I had to sleep diagonally because my head or feet would hit the end. And it was like a 4-person tent.
mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know where they get their models for the tents, but those people are small.
Well,
They
a
must be
couple years
5 and 100 pounds.
a couple years ago, I just I switched to a tent I could stand up in. You know, when you hit your mid 50s, going to the bathroom in the middle of the night
At least
seems,
twice.
yeah. And then
Yeah, I
so
can
now I
picture
have a
it.
little funnel that I screw onto a water bottle, but I
Yeah.
want a tent I could stand up in, you know,
It
and
would, if I had the money, I would love to buy like a Ford Transit 250, the what taller ones you can stand in, and
mhm,
just go on road trips and just sleep in the back of that. I
yeah.
got the cot. Just deck it up. I don't need anything real fancy. Just something simple.
Mhm.
I've been thinking about that a whole bunch because there's a lake I was looking at on Google Maps. Like, ooh, like because then with the van, I could literally just pull over and camp anywhere.
Mhm.
And a lot of people do that. They'll do the whole van life. They'll just travel up and down the coast, just camping here, camping there. And it looked like
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I follow those channels too.
Yeah.
You know, Cabela's used to make for pickup trucks. It was a cot, and when you're not camped, it folds up, it pivots up,
Yeah.
so it frees your cargo bed. And even with it down, you could shove kind of totes underneath.
Yeah. I have my cot sits a little higher, so it's a Teton Sports cot. Good evening, KY Prepper. So
Anyway,
I'm
I
a,
posted a
I'm
link if anybody wants to come up, talk about what they use for gear.
yeah. So I use I've used that cot a couple times in my videos, but I'm gonna use it again on my next trip.
Uh huh.
I think I'm gonna do a tarp, like A-frame, like a little higher up. Just because I have 2 tarps that are 9 by 13, so I might get it up a little higher and then just rig it all out. At least that's my plan.
Yeah. Yeah, bushcrafter. I have a cabin tent, a 2-room cabin tent that hooks up to my FJ Cruiser. But it's a pain to set up, but once you get it set up, I could detach it. It opens up. There's a zipper and it can open up into the rear of my FJ. But if you want to take off, you just unhook it. There's just like 4 straps.
The canvas tents are really nice, but they're not cheap. I don't have a spare grand to spend on a tent. Hi, Chris.
434 hours in England. Insomnia.
Wow.
Well, stick around, Chris. Maybe we'll help you get to sleep.
We'll bore you to sleep.
Mark, do you know Chris? Chris Bentley?
Yeah, I watch it, Joe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the landscapes that he has there,
Oh
these
yeah.
open rolling hills. So I commented on his last one and I thought I saw Frodo off on the horizon. It's kind of reminds me of the Lords of the Rings.
Wow, 3 cots in that sucker. Nice.
Anybody have any trips coming up?
I have a loose
I will.
idea. I want to drive out to Lake Wenatchee. Maybe get my fishing out there.
Mm.
because I got the boat now.
How long have you lived in Washington? Oh,
My whole life, I was born here.
I take it you've been to Leavenworth.
Yeah, actually, Lake Wenatchee is just northeast of Leavenworth. So,
I forgot that was leading me to something, and I just had a brain fart.
so I went and bought this. I got myself a boat. Do some
Okay.
fishing. We got a two-person raft. So I just need to get the sucker out on the water.
I'll be leaving close around the 19th of August. Sabrina's been in California at their lake property for a little over a month now. So, hey, Colby. Anyway, I'm going to pick her up and bring her home. But on the way, I'm meeting two friends in the Virginia Lakes Basin, south of Bridgeport, California.
Oh,
And
cool.
I did a video on it last year. It's called Trumbull Lake. And I like that area there because there's three lakes you can immediately go to within a half mile. And there's some other lakes if you want to hike up some saddles. But I always catch trout there. It's a no fail. So I'll be there August 22nd and 23rd.
Sounds great. Are you gonna fly up or are you gonna ride your motorcycle?
I'm driving car.
Okay.
Because I'm taking camp gear and I got to bring her home, and we may do some camping on the way back to Texas.
Okay.
So
That sounds cool.
So obviously I'll be hopefully catching some fish and posting that, uploading that.
Yeah, I'd like to do a catch and cook, but I gotta catch them first.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get this boat out in the water.
What are you going to christen it?
Hopefully soon. I would have done it sooner, but I bought it and then the next weekend I went camping. So, and it was on a river, kind of a fast moving one, so I didn't want to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
It probably could have gone tomorrow if I wasn't working. But hopefully, and then I'll get some video of it. I'll probably do a review on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a whole bunch out there, but
how long is it, or how many people is it rated for?
it's a two-person.
Did you get paddles with it?
Yep. Comes with a pump, two oars, 440-pound max capacity. So it's a two-person inflatable raft. So it should be more than enough to hold me. So, yeah, I mean, it was only $60 on Amazon, so I figured why not? So that's a Challenger.
Well, a good thing with something like that is you can put it in the water without needing a boat ramp.
Yep, but I also don't have a lot of. I also don't have a lot of storage here either, so I got to be able. I can fold it up. I can leave it out in the sun to dry, and then fold it up and put it in the storage shed. So,
yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, hello.
Anyway, you can. What the other thing good is you can attack fish toward the shore. And have access to places along the shore that you couldn't.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a trolling motor or anything, but it should do the trick.
Well, I have a couple of float tubes.
You have what?
You okay?
Yeah, it's allergies.
I have float tubes. When I fly fish.
Yeah.
And I pretty much just do wet flies. Using a sinking line, and you're just basically trolling, with fins. You have a wet, kind of a wetsuit on, and kind of relaxing, you just kind of suspended in the water.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, except when the water's cold.
Yeah.
But I catch way more fish that way.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys doing that.
Well, when you get to a good spot for fishing, what I usually do is I have a friend who's so anal, he'll take the temperature of the water.
Wow.
But what I do is I turn over the rocks along the shore to see what kind of bugs are there, like larvae or any other kind of bugs. Sometimes I'll use those fly fishing,
Oh yeah, okay.
or fishing, but it kind of gives you an idea. It gives me an idea of what type of lure or type of fly that I might want to use or mimic,
It's a good
because
idea.
those fish are going to be eating what they have access to along that shoreline.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good idea, actually. I don't have very much fishing stuff, so
Well, I pretty much just use worms.
yeah.
So I'll either fish them off a bobber or a sliding sinker off the bottom. Yeah, Tennessee. It also leaves your hands free for your pew pew. Of course, I like the paddle boats with the Donald Duck on the front, so you can use them as a duck hunting platform.
The paddle boats, those are the ones you sit in and just use your feet, right?
Yeah, like a bicycle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I hear that, Tennessee. It's hard to find places with native trout anymore, and everybody waits for the fishery truck to
Oh
plant.
yeah.
But I know some areas in California, right across the highway for the Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center in the Toyabe National Forest, is Levitt Meadow Campground. And across the highway is where the Marines do their mountaineering training.
Oh well.
But you can take that trail, Levitt Meadow Trailhead, and it's above 9,000 feet. So I used to go the night before and get acclimated to the altitude. Otherwise, I would get an altitude headache, if I just showed off and started walking.
Oh yeah.
And anyway, I used to take beginning backpackers there because we had access to 7 lakes within a day, a short couple hour hike. So we would go in. It was just 7 miles to Roosevelt Lake and Lane Lake. And there were 2 small lakes separated by a little saddle of land, probably like 50 feet across. But from there was a secret lake, Fremont Lake. And so you could always do day hikes there, but there all the trout are native, and you could tell because the meat of a native trout's going to be pink
Oh,
from
cool.
eating natural food. And if you get a trout that's got white meat, it's a planted or a farm fish. But they had crawdads there, and the crawdads, the trout would eat the smaller baby crawfish, and they would get really rich in color, just like salmon.
Oh cool.
And if and there's always fish there. Um, but it was a good place to take people because it was 3 miles of level trail, and then it had just two saddles that you had to climb. So it had about 2 miles of uphill.
Oh, no, that's not bad.
Yeah, and then yeah, that's a great place if you can ever get there. It's off of Highway 108 near Sonora Pass.
Cool.
Anyway, those were my old stomping grounds. Get away, no people, good fishing.
Sounds great.
So what are you gonna what stove were you using on your camp trip? It was Trangia.
Oh yeah, the Trangia set.
So you like that?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's really
Is that your
nice.
is that your preferred? Yeah.
I don't know if I would say preferred, but it's a really nice set. I had one of my viewers send it to me a couple of years ago. Actually, maybe like 4 years ago now. But it's a really nice set because it's got a frying pan, it's got the bowl, plus a kettle, and I can use butane, which was okay in Canada because of the burn ban, which is part of the reason I brought it.
Hmm.
I think it's the 25.8. It's on my channel. I can just look it up real quick. I did a video on it.
Well, just like fire starting, I carry three methods to make meals because of what you said. Some places will have bands.
Oh
So
yeah,
so I'll primarily now I use single burner butane, but I also have my iso isobutane backpack, folding backpack, and
yeah.
then
See,
I have that folding barbecue grill.
25.8 set. You just go to my channel and then go to videos and just use the search bar and you can find it.
Let me see.
I need to use that set a little bit more often. I really like it. I've done all kinds of things with it. I even made bannock in it. Bacon pancakes a couple times. Did biscuits and gravy in it.
Let's see.
Made some grilled ham and cheese.
Let me see if I could make you.
The only thing I don't like about that set though is all the heat's right in the middle, so everything gets. It doesn't like distribute the heat. That's my only complaint. But it's a minor complaint. I even baked pizza on it. I baked a frozen pizza on it.
I was going to see if I could make you a moderator and you could just post your link up there.
Oh,
Well, this is kind of like my second live, so this is kind of
yeah.
you know. So, Chris, where do I get my MRE? I usually get them from Chris. I usually get them from eBay, and a lot of them come from Eastern Europe. So the shipping can be as much as $30 for a single MRE. So you'll see like what's funny is there's a lot of new Russian ones. So I don't know. There's been talk about how corrupt the Russian military was because people were stealing things and then selling them on eBay, and um, the way their system works anyway. Um, so I guess these MREs get pilfered and sold overseas because I know they're having supply problems in the war. But anyway, there's a guy on eBay who's a supplier, and Yeah, I think Chris, it might be. So if you just type, go to eBay and look at um, MREs or military rations, and you'll see, look at who the seller is or where it's from. And there's a guy that in Ukraine that does, but sometimes they'll give you a deal if you order several meals, and some meals will be, $70 with free shipping or $32 with $32 shipping. You know, so
There's a way to contact the seller too. It's like, hey, if I order X, could you cut me a deal on the shipping or something?
yeah. Well, you can't on eBay. You can't make deals outside of the whatever that
Oh,
auction is or whatever.
I was
But
thinking
once
you should message them directly.
yeah, once you establish a relationship, um, they could get you a link or hey Heidi, here and there. She's near your neck of the woods.
Who's?
Heidi's here and there.
Where's
I
she
can,
located?
uh, maybe she could say exactly. I think in the Seattle Basin.
Oh, Vancouver, Washington. I'm in Renton, Washington. So,
Yeah, in 2010, I rode to Victoria. Went up. That's when I went through Leavenworth, Washington.
yeah.
We went to Vancouver, Canada, and then took the ferry to Victoria, rode the island, and then we didn't camp there. We just were there for a day.
I'd really like to go back, but it's
Yeah.
man, the gas here was just ridiculous. But
Well,
Gerbs is really close to Victoria. I mean, I was there in like almost no time. Mark, have you ever talked to Mark? He doesn't.
I didn't know his name was Mark. Yeah, I just watched his video today
His name
talking
isn't
about
Mark,
Australia.
and we're not
Why?
on speaking
You
terms
ever talk to
anymore. So
him? You aren't?
not with Fernbark, no.
Okay.
No,
Is his name Mark? I didn't know that.
it's not Mark. His name is
Okay.
Dan.
Dan. Okay. Yeah.
I know he
That's
gets a lot of
probably
MRE from online and like MRE Mountain and stuff like that.
a
So
place I would buy. It's in Oregon. It's called the epicenter.com.
oh
And
yeah, I've heard that.
they sell MREs. But where you get good deals is they'll have on their deals page, um, like factory overruns or surplus gear, or and you could order entrees or components.
Yeah, you can order individual stuff.
They even had camp gear.
Like the Epicenter, something like that.
Yeah, the epicenter.com. They have a YouTube channel, but they haven't been active on it.
Most of the mains though just aren't very good.
Yeah.
And anything from what's that brand? Trying to think of the brand now. Come on, Zoom. Oh, Bridgeford. Like all their stuff is just mediocre.
Hey, Armored Sweatpants. Thanks for stopping by. Well, I think a lot of people too, just MREs aren't made for fine dining. They were
No,
made
they're
for
not.
specific purpose.
But when you try the mains of the like Canadian IMPs, the mains are actually really tasty.
Yeah.
Surprised me. Like they were quite good. But
Yeah. Well, I spent today I'm going to be doing two videos. One is going to be a reenactment. It's going to be a two-part of what a German soldier ate during World War II.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'll be using things from my museum. I have several years ago I built a German uniform for the Africa Corps. So I have all the field gear, uniforms, weapons to make that video, and so I've been putting together rations. I don't know if you can see
German
that.
right. Okay.
So I made labels because obviously I can't get what the Germans had back then.
Yeah.
So I had to make my own. So I researched all that, and today I was researching what Japanese soldiers typically had for rations during World War II because I have all the Japanese stuff, including uniform. So I'm going to recreate meals, um, showing what you know food that the Japanese and Germans had.
That's cool.
Because I already did the one last Veterans Day on what a U.S. airborne trooper would have eaten. So I made my own K ration. I had a box. I don't know if you saw that one. That was part of that Camp Challenge Alliance.
I'm sure I did. Steve 1989 does a lot of those videos and those meals.
Uh huh. Yeah, I
So
started watching him.
he's a good dude.
Shoot, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The other one I just started watching is Germs MRE.
No,
J
I've not checked him
or
out yet.
is it Germs or JRE or JRMRE.
Yeah, yeah. He's commented on some of my videos.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
hey, Rock
only
Nothing Reviews. What's up?
he hey, there's another guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Rock's got some artistic
Yeah.
flair.
The not speaking is an interesting choice.
Yeah, the faceless,
Yeah.
kind of
Faceless
like
voice.
spicy tuna rolls. Actually, I'm sending him a mail call next week because he
Oh,
just
cool.
got he took a break on YouTube. But yeah, I like watching a lot of the faceless stuff.
Yeah. So to answer your question, sorry, Chris Bentley, I didn't get back to your question. Um, I have an enhanced driver's license that allows me to get back into the U.S. You can always go to Canada. It's getting back in the U.S. You need the enhanced. It's just something you add to your driver's license. So I didn't need a passport because I don't have one. Just the
Um,
enhanced license was enough.
Now you can. I don't know if it's pertinent to Chris, but if you live in the United States, travel a lot, so I have a passport card which you can keep in your wallet, and
Oh,
that allows you. You don't have. You can use that if you go to Canada or Mexico. You don't need to take your passport.
well, that's cool. I didn't know they had those options.
Yeah. So if you get a passport card, I always have that too in case I'm traveling. I try to put a pic on my phone of my passport, and I'll have a photocopy in my luggage.
Yeah.
So if something happened, I could go to a consulate or. Um, but anyway, if you get that passport card, then you can go to Canada and Mexico.
Will the enhanced driver's license get me into Mexico? Not that I'm
No,
looking to go there, but
oh, the enhanced. I don't know about that. That's
well,
a
I guess.
state. That's state issued.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not U.S. government issued.
Okay.
So
It allows you into Canada and back. They might allow it, but I mean, I love Mexican food, but I don't know if I'd want to go to Mexico.
well, normally if you go to Mexico, because I used to walk across the bridge in Juarez, you didn't need a passport. It was 2 cents. There's a pedestrian bridge. You'd pay 2 cents, and then you just walk across the bridge.
Oh, that's cool.
So, I did that when I was in the service. We'd go down, I was stationed in New Mexico. We'd go down to El Paso and go into Juarez. So, but I've ridden my motorcycle in Mexico. So I had to get, it's called Mexican insurance. It's just a $200 flat rate. And that covers you during your stay. It's just another way that their government makes money, I guess.
Tourists, charge them.
Yeah, Tennessee. When I live in Central Texas, so if I drive like the normal person who would take the interstate on Interstate 10, you have to go through 2 checkpoints, one south of El Paso and one near Silver City, outside of Las Cruces. But when I leave, I go up north. I go through Roswell because the Texas speed limits are 70, 75 anyway. And I cut through the middle of New Mexico, so I don't have to go through those border checkpoints. I had a friend of mine come from California. They were a group in RVs, and they had weed in their motorhome. So they decide to take the interstate, and guess what? The dog sniffs their weed. And fortunately, they just made him dump it out.
It should have been like Super Troopers and just ate it all.
Mm-hmm. But there's a way you can circumvent them. So they can only have a border checkpoint within 100 miles of an international border. But yeah, if you're going to be driving around with drugs, because weed's not legal in Texas.
It's funny because it's legal here.
Yeah.
But they never asked me to. They never asked me to checkpoints if I had any marijuana or not.
Yeah.
All they cared about was the eggs and chicken.
Well, it's legal in Canada too.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, there you go. I probably didn't care then.
And Alaska. And New
Oh,
Mexico.
It's legal in Portland too.
I live in a real conservative county. It's called Williamson County. And we're north of Austin, which is Travis County. So when the crooks lead police on a pursuit, they'll lead them into Williamson County because they're more lenient here. Or if they're in Williamson County, they'll run to Travis County because they're way more liberal there. Hey, John. Doing good, buddy. Anyway, in our county, they say Williamson County, come on vacation, leave on probation, because they're really, really strict. Wisconsin is literally surrounded by weed states. Yeah. I was in law enforcement for 30 years, and no one high on marijuana ever caused trouble. It was always alcohol or something else.
Yeah, when you're stoned, you're just all mellow and hungry.
Right. And there has never been one documented death due to marijuana or THC. But it's still a Schedule 1 felony.
Stupid.
Did you take bear spray into Canada?
Yeah, I did. But what's funny that he asked me at the border. He's like, "Do you have a big can or a little can?" Because small ones are not okay, but big cans were okay. So,
well, bear spray is about 60% less potent than pepper spray.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why you can take bear spray. I think it's a 15% solution.
Yeah, they were fine with the larger can, but I couldn't bring like the little like personal cans.
Yeah.
He made it a point to ask. I told him I was going camping. He's like, "You have pepper spray or do you have bear spray?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a big can." He goes, "Okay." Little cans are not okay. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, I carry a big can on my motorcycle and it's strapped right on the outside. I find that ironic sometimes that people will carry pepper spray. Actually, Tennessee Bushcrafter, I'm not sure what the Scoville is because it's oleocapsaicin, which is used in the self-defense pepper spray. And I think that's just cayenne. It's equivalent to cayenne.
A cayenne pepper, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
The,
that stuff has a Scoville level at all.
yeah.
Not like my preferred hot sauce.
Well, Scoville's only for food, so I guess you'd have to eat it. I know, Tennessee, why don't you get an egg or something, put some cayenne on it, and then put pepper spray on the other one. See which one's hotter.
There you go.
Okay, he says he knows pepper spray is around 20 million. Yeah, I don't know because
20
I
million
used to be
Scoville.
yeah, I used to be a tear gas instructor, so I know CS gas.
Yeah, I've never experienced any of that.
Yeah,
Ride in Seattle, I stay away.
military uses CS. The mace civilian use they use CN, so they both have kind of this, similar effects, but some are better for different applications.
Yeah, I think that's the Apollo pepper at 3 million, right?
Well, the Scorpion's 2 million, isn't it? And I know when you get up to 5 million, those are more of the um, oils. Yeah, I can do all the hottest wings, like at all the wing places. But when you get over a million Scovilles, it's not enjoyable
Not for
because
me. I want to be able to taste the food.
I don't know when you get when you kind of get used to it, you kind of crave it. It's like
Oh
it creates
yeah,
endorphins. But for me, when it gets up to a certain point, okay, the bushcrafter. Now we know where to go to for pepper information. Yeah, I
have
did
a
those hot ramen ones are about as high as I like to go for eating.
yeah. I had trouble with that one. The burn was getting to me.
Scotch bonnets. Yeah, they have a good flavor. Well, I made Gary at Belt Loop 29 last year sent me peppers. So I made hot sauce
I
and
remember
took them
that.
down to Dayton, Texas, where I met um, Devil Dog, and we had a YouTuber get together. So I gave some away as door prizes, and but I had mixed what he had Carolina Reaper. So I I just used that. It wasn't a Carolina Reaper, but I did that to enhance the heat a little bit. We eat a lot of Japanese red peppers that kind of look like a cayenne pepper.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll stick with my Texas Pete.
Yeah. In 2008, I went to Avery Island where they make Tabasco, and I took the tour. So one of the trivia things, I don't know if you guys find this interesting, is the color of the cap. So a lot of their peppers are actually grown in South America. So to get the consistent, for them to harvest the consistent pepper, they give them a stick that's painted that color. They'll hold that stick right next to the pepper, and if it matches that color, that's what they pick.
Oh, cool.
So I learned from French that baton means stick. Baton, I'm sorry, baton means stick, but rouge means red. So the city Baton Rouge means red stick.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to log off because I need to get up at 4:15 in the morning and go to work tomorrow. So, unfortunately,
You said you worked today?
I work today, but I work again tomorrow. I guess one of the security guys said, "Hey, I need the weekend off," so he didn't show up for work today.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I might have to call it then unless somebody wants to come up here.
yeah,
Um,
sorry.
Chris, have you ever tried Tabasco sweet and spicy? That is really good. I mean, it goes good with everything, and it's not super hot. It's great to mix with the barbecue sauce, but I use it in place of taco sauce now or on sandwiches.
Ooh.
All right. Well, 4:30. So do you eat breakfast when you get up that early?
Yeah, I get up, I make bacon and eggs, basically. So no toast or pancakes or anything,
Hmm.
and then I put hot sauce all over it.
Do you do s- s- steel cut oats at all?
I used to do I did oatmeal every morning for like 3 years, but
Oh.
I guess I got a little bit burned out on it. So now I just do bacon and eggs.
Well, I like steel cut oats, but they're kind of like grits. You got to cook it for a while.
Oh yeah, I
So
was
what?
just doing old fashioned oatmeal.
Yeah. Well, there's a trick that I use, and that is you put them in a mason jar, the oats, the night before in your refrigerator.
Yeah, yeah. Refrigerator oats, I think they're called.
Yeah. So you let them kind of hydrate. Bye, Chris.
Bye,
Have a good
Chris. Have a good nap.
anyway. That way you cut your cook time down to like 10 minutes.
Oh, nice. I heard you can do those on a crock pot too.
Yeah. That's but then you have something to wash.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was hoping to get more of an
Yeah, I
environment.
know. I thought I'd have the night off because I was more than fine with staying up, but
Uh-huh. Well, this I wanted to get some practice too. I don't know if I'm a suitable live guy. I may just maybe do once a month, something once a month,
I was
stuff
thinking
like.
about doing one maybe next Sunday,
Okay. Well,
maybe a little sooner, maybe 7. I'll see. This
uh,
should be everyone should be home, kind of relaxing, and I'll see what
well,
happens.
happy belated birthday. Enjoy
Thank you.
that field book.
Oh, I have been.
That it's a great resource to have.
Yeah, I like him very much. Thank you again.
All right. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody that joined. Heidi, Tennessee Bushcrafter, Chris is gone. Hike with Mike was in and out. Armored Sweatpants. I don't know if he's still out there.
Well, if you guys want to keep going without me, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
I planned on being up for it, but duty calls.
No, it's about time. It's been over an hour, so I was actually planning on just going an hour. But I wish Jerbs would open up his panel a little bit, so we don't. Because he lags behind on the chat, so you make a response. So I don't know if you saw my comment on his live. I said talking to Jerbs on a live is like trying to communicate with somebody on Mars. You got to wait 3 minutes before the signal gets there. Another 3 minutes before you get a response.
Well, he's only got a cell phone and a little tablet, so
yeah,
that's all he's using.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Thanks for watching, and
thanks everybody.
Stay cool. Stay out of the heat. All right, bud. Talk to you later, Mark.
All right, have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, Heidi.
Bye.